What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ginger Auto. Today we're going to start by making a list and then start doing them because I want to get this car running. So this is my list of everything I can think of right now of what I want to do before I can drive it again. IRS valve. It's the valve in the intake manifold that I need to take out. Power steering pump I'm going to swap out with another one I have because mine leaks a little, and I'm going to change out the rack. I have an 03 WX rack that I'm going to put in it. I need to fix the coolant leak, which I found. End links, sway bar end links, I'm going to swap out because mine are really bad right now. I need to lengthen the screamer pipe, and for those of you who don't know what that is, that's the exit pipe on my wastegate. And then I need to finish the coolant inlet into the engine that we were working on a few days ago. So let's start with the IRS valve. So this is what the bottom of an EG33 intake manifold looks like, and this is the IRS or IRIS valve that I've been referring to. There's a pretty cool feature that this manifold comes with in stock form. Pretty much this is an actuator that opens and closes. Pretty much there's just a flap in here that opens and closes and is ran by vacuum. So this solenoid is connected to the ECU, and when the engine gets up to 4,000 RPMs, it opens. And so this makes it so air can get back and forth between the two manifold sides, and it's supposed to help a lot with the torque. But in boosted form, I do not think that this will help me. And I have a ECU that I can tune to make up for the loss that I might lose from doing this. Start by taking off the air vacuum canister, IRS valve, and the solenoid. So here's an inside look of that IRS valve. This is the valve that opens and closes. It sits in here. It's just pretty hollow inside. So this sits in like that, and then just opens, allows the air to go back and forth, then closes. Pretty simple, but for the time that it was thought of, I think it was pretty ahead of its time. Pretty cool feature. I think I'll be able to pull these screws and just pull that whole shaft out through the top. Finally got everything apart. Of course, little screws stripped out, so I had to drill out because this rod goes through this hole. Anyways, go through there. Then there's a little slot inside this rod that this butterfly valve slides into, and that's how it's attached. So I couldn't pull the whole thing apart unless the screws were out, and of course they couldn't just come out easy. So now just gonna cut that off, find a way to plug that hole, and done. Just like that. We'll cut off. And just like that. Just need to find a way to plug this hole. I also need to get a new gasket. But I have a buddy who I know that has found a gasket that works, so I'll hit up him and buy one from him. This one's, yeah, pretty brittle. So I'm just going to find a way to plug this. So this is my game plan to plug that hole. I found a bolt that is just bigger than the hole, and I'm just gonna thread it into it with some JB weld and call it a day. Aluminum's softer than this steel bolt, and I've done this quite a few times. I'll just force it in and it makes a good seal, and then some JB weld will seal it for good and make sure it never comes out. So that's my plan. There we have it. Side bolts in, and this side I just capped it, covered it real good to make sure that it won't leak from anywhere. Should be good. Just wait for it to dry and we're done. Moving on from the intake manifold, let's focus on the coolant leak. So a few days ago I was looking around and I found that this little coolant hose had a crack in it, and that is coming from down here. So right down here, this little elbow. This is called the crossover pipe, I guess. It comes off the block crossover pipe and into the bypass valve, and then this little metal coolant port goes down and into the thermostat housing right there, and it's so that coolant can still circulate a little bit while the thermostat housing or the thermostat is closed. And by some miracle, like a year ago, I tried to order the bypass elbow for the bottom of the block, and I got the part and it was wrong. The bend was wrong. But instead of sending it back, I was like, well, I'll keep it and maybe it'll come in handy someday. And no joke, that is the part that failed. So lucky me, I don't even have to buy a new one. Cool story. So let's put that back in. Well, there it is, fixed. That was an easy fix. I was worried it was going to be like a gasket to this crossover pipe, and I wasn't looking forward to pulling that, but I will take that any day. Let's go to our handy dandy list. See what else we got. There's the delete checks. Fix coolant leak, check. Still have power steering, no leaks. Screamer pipe and coolant inlet of the motor. Might have to come back tomorrow and do some more.